Republican Rick Wilson, who apparently can see the forest for the trees, and he basically describes Trump in a more realistic manner, and he really can't be argued with, because exactly what he says Trump is and does, that's exactly what Trump is and does.
Strategist Rick Wilson, who I should say strongly opposes Donald Trump. I mean, what? I guess there's nothing. I mean, I have to say, like today, first let's start with this. Forget all the Khan family stuff, which I think just anyone with just a basic sense of empathy and decency can understand why it's indecent, right? I mean, forget the politics of anything. Just that, I think, is... Trump today trolling Paul Ryan, playing footsie on Twitter with his primary opponent, and then this is the best part, talking about Ryan, I'm just not quite there yet, I'm not quite there yet, spitting back in his face the phrasing Paul Ryan used in his sort of Hamlet-esque dithering over whether to endorse Trump. What do you make of that?
Look, this is a guy who's so vengeful and so petty and so small that it should remind Republicans that this isn't a Republican nominee. This is a virus that has infected the Republican Party, and he's eating the host from the inside out. He will never be a transactional person. He will never have any of the things you do in politics to try to build your party, build your movement, etc. It is all l'tat c'est Trump. This is only about him. This is only about his ego and his gratification of his little revenge fantasies. And you know, today with John McCain and Paul Ryan both, who have swallowed an enormous river of bile for this guy and have defended him over and over again. You know, I can't wait for both of those gentlemen to be past their primaries, because while it sucks that they can't come out and say what's probably in their hearts, it's explicable that they're both in contested primaries right now, and you get the sort of political imperative underneath it. But on the other side of it, you know, Donald Trump's pivot to the general election is still mostly about slamming his fellow Republicans. It's a mystery.
Here's what's so striking to me. Again, we're in the realm of, we're so far from the realm of policy at this point. I mean, aside from things like the Muslim ban, or like, you know, this idea of like, well, what would he do on day one? We're in this sort of bizarre netherworld of kind of armchair psychology. You know, every single person that has come into his orbit, particularly those who've lent him support, have walked away diminished. They've walked away with their dignity essentially eaten. And it doesn't seem accidental. I mean, this is the MO of this guy. And if for no other reason than self-preservation of that dignity, you would think more people would take the Ted Cruz route, having witnessed that.
Well, you know, you look at a guy like Chris Christie, who, when Donald Trump said, go fetch your shine box, Chris Christie, you know, tugged his forelock and said, yes, Mr. Trump. He abased himself in ways that you would normally have to pay a professional to do. This is a guy who has, you know, who revels in humiliating his vanquished opponents, who revels in rubbing it in your face after he's beaten you, or rubbing it in your face after he perceives himself to be in a superior position. You don't build a team like that. You don't broaden your appeal like that. This is a guy who's playing out all these bizarre revenge fantasies against people that ran against him, and it's always on the tip of his tongue to go after Jeb or Marco or Ted Cruz or anyone else who's slighted him at any point.
If you sit and watch his campaign events day after day, as I do and my colleagues do, there's a long riff in which he relives the primary. It's like a big chunk of the stump speech is like just sort of getting himself all worked up over that. Rick Wilson, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so that's an analysis of Trump from a fellow quote-unquote Republican. Sooner or later, Trump is going to finally make these Republicans grow a pair, and they can't kick him to the curb because he's the nominee, or at least I don't think they can, but they got to walk away from this guy.